when the little things stack up against you and don't go your way, it usually adds up to a loss. And that's what happened to the Giants last night. But today, one major thing will be going their way, and that's Johnny Cueto on the mound. Cueto hasn't lost in over 2 months, and today he looks to give the Giants a win in the rubber match of the series, and it's next.
It's Hyundai Sunday on CSN Bay Area, as Giants Baseball is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Today it's the Giants and Phillies. One more time, final game of this series from AT&T Park. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Tough loss for Madison Bumgarner and the Giants last night. Giants are still playing terrific baseball, and now they got a guy that has just been on fire, and that's Johnny Cueto on the mound today.
Oh, you're right. He's making start number 16. The Giants are 13-2 in those starts. He personally 11-1 with an ERA at 2.0. Now, you would think it'd be a slam dunk, but if you look a little bit closer, Johnny Cueto hasn't done great against the Phillies lifetime. He's 1-4 with an ERA of 5.05, and I'm not making those numbers up. His opponent today is a 23-year-old by the name of Aaron Nolan. You're going to find out a few things about the Phillies. Forecast this guy to be their #1 guy in the future. So it's going to be about stuff, and it's going to be about good baseball, because that's what's going to win this ball game today.
The veteran and the rook today here at AT&T Park. It should be fun. All right, it is a gorgeous day. When we come back, we will have the lineups and the first pitch right after this.
CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Outside of the ballpark, now inside. Cueto taking the mound. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Great time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open every day. 75 degrees here at the yard. You have light winds, humidity at 58%, and it is a sunny
sunny day. All right, let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It'll look like this. It'll be Herrera, who is going to be in the leadoff spot. You can see what he's done in that spot, third highest in the National League. Borges, Joseph, and Franco. Cody Ash, he'll hit in the fifth slot. Then it's Ruiz, Galvis, and Hernandez, and Aaron Nola will hit ninth.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the 30-year-old right-hander Johnny Cueto, 5'11", 220 years old. He's making the 16th start of the season. He's 11-1 with a 2.06 ERA. That includes 3 complete games with a strikeout walk ratio of 96 strikeouts against 21 walks. And the Giants, when he's on the hill, they're 13-2. And right now he is on an 8-game winning streak. It's the longest winning streak of his career and the longest win streak by a Giants pitcher since Matt Cain won 8 from May 12th to June 18th in 2012. So he is on a roll right now. How's he do it? Well, he's going to give you an assortment of pitches and average velocity right around 91, 92 miles per hour. He can amp it up as high as 95. You'll see most of his high velocity fastballs in 2-strike counts. He has a curveball, slider, and a changeup, and he also throw it from a variety of different motions. Very creative. Lifetime against the Phillies, 1-4 with a 5.05 ERA. Let's look at the defense playing behind Johnny Cueto. Starting the Giants outfield, it's going to be Pagan, Span, and Parker. Parker with the best arm in right field. Crawford, Gillespie on the left side. Joe Panik getting a day off. It's going to be Pena and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs. 9 starts against the Phillies, just 1 lifetime win for Cueto. So they have been a team that have been a bit problematic for him. We'll try and change that today.
So here's Odubel Herrera as he stands in, and the first pitch of the ball game is a quick pitch, and he's fouled out of play.
Get ready to go. Nobody quick pitches better than Johnny Cueto.
So we get started 2 minutes late.
Really?
That's very unusual in this part. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Herrera started in center field and led off on Friday and went 0 for 3. Got into the game as a pinch hitter and went 0 for 1 in the game yesterday. That's a close pitch called by home plate umpire Doug Eddings. Jeff Nelson at first. Nick Lentz is at second. Corey Blazer is at third. Little double wiggle and a flip job into center field, and Span's going to dive, and he knocks it away from himself, and standing at second base will be Herrera. It'll be a double.
We talked about the creativity. Take a look at the windup and the shimmy from Johnny Cueto. Little off-speed pitch, and Herrera, I mean, he gets out on his front foot, but still keeps his hands back, uses the middle of the field, and this is where he catches a break. Do or die play for Span, could not come up with it. It kicks away, and that's an extra 90 feet that Herrera winds up with. So a double and a 2-strike knock to start things out here for Philadelphia.
Here's Borges. Borges bunts this one third base side. Gillespie will barehanded and throw on to Belt. And Herrera moves to third.
It'll be a sacrifice. 5-3. Doug Eddings, the plate umpire, he's a low ball umpire, and he's got good corners. I mean, he's a good zone to pitch to, and what you get in the first, you're going to get throughout the game. It's one that sets early and stays that way. He's also a good breaking ball umpire. He hangs in there very well on breaking balls. All of those good things for a pitcher like Cueto.
Tommy Joseph takes a strike. Joseph, 243, 8 home runs, 14 driven in. 1 for 2 on Friday. A couple of hits yesterday. 0-2. Infield back, with the exception of Connor Gillespie, and now he will move back as well.
See how Johnny Cueto uses his pitches. The fastball and the cutter. I mean, those are his high velocity pitches, and he uses that speed most. Got a changeup, slider, curveball, and he'll throw everything depending on what's working that day.
And it's down low. It's 1-2. I guess you almost have to be careful now with men on base. When you do these things, you never know what the umpires are going to call.
Well, we've seen a balk already with a runner at third base when he had a windup that included the shimmy. So you're right. I mean, you got to be a little more conservative than you would normally be.
And this is going to be deep enough to score Herrera. So Joseph with a sacrifice fly, 1-0 Phillies.
A couple of sacrifices, a bunt and a fly, and all of a sudden it's 1-0 Philadelphia. So good situational baseball from Pete McCannon's group. Quite a little upset. He was pitching for the strikeout. He didn't get it.
Yes, he was. So here's Mike Franco, and he hits a high fly ball. Right center field. Span's got it, and that'll end the inning. Span, Pagan, and Belt coming up. Lineup that'll face Aaron Nola. It'll be Span, Pagan, and Belt. Buster Posey hitting cleanup. Good numbers in his last 12 games against the Phillies. It'll be Crawford, Parker, and Romero. Pena, no panic today, at least to start out the game. Gillespie 8th and Cueto 9th.
On the hill today for the Philadelphia Phillies will be the right-hander Aaron Nola. Nola, 6'2", 196-pounder, 23 years old. He's in his first year at the big league level. 5-7 in 15 starts with a 4.11 ERA. But look at the strikeouts: 95 and 87 2/3 against 22 walks. Phillies think that he is going to be a guy that emerges as their #1 starter. And how does he do it? He's got a 90-ish fastball with a curveball and a changeup. It doesn't sound like it should be that much of a problem. Well, all three of them are swing and miss pitches. And he's a control guy with excellent command of both sides of the plate.
And the first pitch to Span is a strike. Span at 251 with 3 home runs. He's got 27 runs batted in. Swing and a miss.
And that's a look at the curveball, and you can see just how quick it is. And the break on it is acute. I mean, that is a hard snapping curveball. And his changeup is another pitch that's a swing and miss pitch.
Span is 1 for 7 in the series. And on 3 pitches, Span will depart.
Let's take a look at the defense that the Phillies will use behind Aaron Nola. Starting in their outfield from left to right will be Ashe, Herrera, and Borges. Best arm in left field with Cody Ashe. Galvis and Franco on the left side. Hernandez and Joseph on the right side. Carlos Ruiz, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs.
Pagan hitting 281 with 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in. And he takes low with Belt to follow.
Nola has had problems in the first inning. In his 15 first innings, he's given up 14 earned runs. So there is an inning of opportunity if you look at it that way, given his history this year.
Two balls and no strikes with Belt on deck.
3-pitch guy, fastball, curveball, changeup, and about 60% of the time you're going to see the fastball. But look at what the league's hitting against the curveball, 172. They're not hitting it. And he'll use that a lot to righties and lefties.
Doug Innings looking for strikes. It's 2-1. Three balls and one strike. Rubber match of the series. The Giants won on Friday. A one-run game, 5-4. The Phillies won yesterday. One-run game, 3-2. Tough night for Bum as he pitched good, but he got the loss. Pagan shoots it up the middle, and that's a base hit. Here's our Geico quote, Madison Bumgarner on the 7th inning. That obviously didn't go as I planned. That's just the way it goes. You got to go out there and make pitches no matter if it's the first, third, fifth, or seventh.
Well, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, he threw it beautifully last night. Same thing happened his last outing in Pittsburgh where he got beat 1-0 with a complete game. I mean, you do everything right, you pitch beautifully, and you walk out with a loss, and that just means the game of baseball is not always fair to you. He deserved better.
Here's Belt. Pagan's got 7 steals. Breaking ball and a called strike.
You're not going to see a lot of guys do a whole lot with that curveball the first time they see it. That's a good one.
Pagan had a little bit of a lean, but he gets back easily. Buster Posey on deck. On the ground, fair. This will kick. Slow down. And Pagan being held up. Wisely so. A double for Belt.
Now a low ball pitcher. That's the strength of Aaron Nola, and that is also the strength of Brandon Belt. And he gets a little sinker that sort of runs middle in right around the knee, and he just rakes it right over the bag past Tommy Joseph. Nothing Joseph could do on that one. That ball was scalded. And with one out, Buster Posey coming out, Berto Kelly saying, nah, I'm not going to risk it.
Buster at 282 with 8 home runs, 34 runs batted in. And he was sitting on a breaking ball, I do believe. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
Just turned around and asked Doug Innings if that was a strike. And I don't think it was, but it was up. It was a good pitch to hit. Fly ball situation. Looking for some mistake up.
Just off the plate to even the count.
Did not miss by much. You really have to stay on that fastball. You can see the movement that Nola throws, and if you're hitting from the right side, you'll see it early and think it's going to be outside, but the movement will come back into the strike zone.
Two balls and 1 strike.
And with the movement on the fastball, you can see how he gets a lot of ground balls. And I don't expect him to give Buster Posey a lot here with an open base. And I think in the mind of Nola, if he walks him, it sets up a force. A ground ball gets him out of the inning, so he will be careful.
Buster had a sacrifice fly in the game yesterday. He went 1 for 2. Came in as a pinch hitter on Friday and picked up a base hit. Look out. So that breaking ball hits Buster Posey. People here in this stance telling Nola, do not hit Buster Posey.
Well, yeah. I think a lot of people, they don't know that it was a 75-mile-an-hour curveball that just sort of squirted out of his hand. Hey, if you have to get drilled by a pitch, that's the one you want to get hit by.
Right. This is the one that Jeff Kent used to catch. And then flip it back to the pitcher.
Hey, here you go. You need this.
Crawford hitting .259, 6 home runs. He's got 42 runs batted in. And he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes to Brandon Crawford. Breaking ball. Nope. He doesn't get it. It's 2-0.
So now he's seeing the sinker and he's seeing the breaking ball. I mean, how do you hit guys with good sinkers and good breaking ball? Well, you look for something up.
Getting ready is Jared Parker. And the 2-0 pitch to Crawford. And it almost hit him. It's 3-0. His last 3 starts, his ERA very high. Mike also mentioned the first inning problem, so we'll see if he can right the ship. He has not allowed anything just yet, but it's 3-0 to Crawford, and he may have the green light. Three balls and 1 strike. We'll never know.
Yeah, the way he took that, I think he was thinking take. But even then, that's not where he wants to swing at that ball. Down and in the sink. It's a pretty good pitch.
Big topper. Crawford out. Pagan scores. This game is tied. So here's Parker.
So the Giants have at least answered with a chance to do more. And again, you look at guys who have natural swings that are down around the knees. That's where Jared Parker is, and that's the strength of Aaron Nola with that sinking fastball. So you're kind of going strength on strength here. Parker with lots of power.
Three home runs, 8 driven in this year. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, that gives you an idea that he is going to throw anything at any time.
I mean, that was a perfect pitch with a first pitch curveball. Ramiro Pena would love to hit this inning.
0-2.
2 pitches, 2 curveballs. So right away, Jared Parker in a hole, but he also tells you what he looks for in an at bat. I mean, it wasn't breaking balls. God, you got that big curveball, a couple chances to throw it down in the dirt.
And the 0-2. Hit up the middle. Galvis got him, and that'll end the inning. Giants tie it up. We'll head to the second. It's 1-1.
Bay Area is brought to you by AAA. Get a free Giants all-season blanket. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details.
1-1 ball game here at AT&T Park as we move to inning number 2. And Cody Ashley will take a pitch wide. Ashley hitting .265. He's got a couple of home runs. He's got 4 driven in. So Cueto likes to work quick. Well, you better be ready if you're on the infield. You better be ready if you're the hitter. And if you're Buster Posey, I guess you got to speed things up too as far as coming up with a sign.
No, you're right. If you're a catcher and you know your pitcher likes to work quick, I mean, you've got to be ready with a signal.
Hit up the middle. A weird hop for Pena, but boy, did he hang in there nicely. All right, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, gentlemen, with the Phillies in town, we thought we should talk about a former great Philly who happens to be our own Mike Krukow. 1982. He just spent 1 season with the Phillies, but what a season it was, Mike. 7 complete games, 2 shutouts, over 200 innings, and a 3.12 ERA. You were just too good. So the Giants needed you, and you came back over to the West in '83. But I know you loved Philly while you were there, and some of the names he played with, Dwayne: Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, Tug McGraw. Wow, guys.
I know he was really disappointed when he got traded to the Giants.
Well, we had a good team there, and they were an amazing bunch of guys. And in my first year in San Francisco, 1983, the Phillies went to the World Series. And that would have been my only chance to go and make a contribution as a player. 1989, I got to go, but I was on the disabled list, and I didn't have a chance to pitch in that World Series with the Giants and the A's.
I remember right, '82, Schmidt got hurt for a while.
He did. He had an oblique, although we didn't call it an oblique back then.
Yeah, he pulled a rib muscle.
That was it. 6 weeks, and we wound up losing to the Cardinals by, I think, 2 games.
Yeah, so you think he couldn't have made a difference?
Yep. And the Cardinals went on to win the World Series.
Got him.
See ya. Changeup, and a good one. The Phillies a good town to play in. And Carlos Ruiz, this is not fair. Locks him up. Perfect knee-high location out over the plate away at the knees. See ya.
Here's Galvis, Philly shortstop, hitting at .218. A lot of the averages won't impress you, but as we've said now since we watched them play since Friday, they don't quit. They just keep coming at you.
I think it says a lot about Pete McCannon. I think he's the perfect guy to bring this team through its transition as they go from an established older team to a team based on youth. And you can see how the Phillies are going to be good quickly. But Pete McCannon was that way as a player. I mean, he's that way as a manager. He doesn't quit. Every at bat is personal.
Out of play, a 91 mile-an-hour fastball. For the game, as usual on a Sunday, the one that waited on Cueto had his locks on.
Well, you're going to start seeing more and more of those around the Bay Area.
Foul back again by Freddie Galvis.
But the Sunday tradition, when the kids go out and get to the positions and you can see the players interact with them before a game, that's really become a good thing.
Well, you get to see a little bit of the player's personality. Hunter Pence is fabulous. Angel Pagan. A little pop-up out of play. I miss Hunter Pence.
I know. Hunter Pence is fun to watch play baseball, and it's probably going to be maybe another month or 5 weeks more out with a hamstring that was completely separated off the bone. They had to have surgery, so it's going to take a while. But he will be back this year.
And another foul ball. So slowly starting to tick Cueto off. Cueto waiting for Pagan to get back. Pagan inching a little bit closer to the line on every foul ball hit by Freddie Galvis. This is hit on the ground. Crawford stays with a little tricky hop. Galvis, who runs well, side retired. Pena, Gillespie, Cueto coming up.
Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. We go back to 2010 NLCS. Game 6, and that's when Brian Wilson struck out Ryan Howard, looking on the 7th pitch of the at-bat with runners on first and second, and the Giants would clinch a trip to the World Series. First time since 2002. Only this time, they would win it all. And that's our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile.
I knew something was up as Pena bounces this one up the middle, over the bag, and into center field. I knew that something was up when we opened up the Philadelphia Inquirer before the series started, and they did the matchups position by position, and who has the better player at each position. And the only really shot the Giants had was behind the plate, but the Inquirer gave Carlos Ruiz a slight edge over Buster Posey.
Yep. So the starting 8 guys, it was all Philadelphia.
All
Well, it was a series and certainly a night when the Giants clinched in Game 6 that we will never forget.
Here's Gillespie. Pena opens up the inning with a single. And Gillespie takes down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. That's no reflection as to who the Giants were playing. The Phillies were good, really good.
They were way good. They were supposed to win another world championship that year, and it didn't happen. Giants were the spoilers.
Pena with a good sized lead. Down the left field line, that's going to be foul off the end of the bat.
It was great when both teams were taken off from San Francisco to go to Philadelphia. The 2 teams' planes were side by side, and the Phillies plane was about twice the size of the Giants. And after Game 6, when the Giants won the NLCS and were headed for the World Series, they got to the airport, and there was the Phillies plane.
The big plane.
The big plane.
Of which the Giants took.
They took.
Potential double play ball. And it is. In partnership with Majestic, fans who bring in a used Giants jersey to any Giants dugout store will receive 30% off on a new Giants jersey. The donated jerseys will go to Operation Care and Comfort, a veterans organization who will distribute them to active military personnel. And that offer is valid through July 6th.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that idea, but it's a tremendous idea.
Johnny Cueto swings and fouls it back.
So they'll be bringing back a lot of Przinski jerseys.
Good. Good. Down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dan Uggla jerseys.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice swing. 1 and 2. Cueto's got 2 hits this year and 35 at bats. I will say this: most of his bats are entertaining.
Yeah, he always puts the ball in play.
They may not lead to hits, but they are entertaining.
And he will bunt with 2 strikes too.
Denard Span on deck. Curveball. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Through 2. 1-1.
On CSN Bay Area is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
1-1 ball game here in the 3rd on this 26th of June. Here's Hernandez. Bouncing ball to Crawford. Crawford, nice rhythm, nice throw, nice play, 1 out. Between innings, the scoreboard and our fans wishing the captain, Hank Greenwald. Birthday is 81st birthday, and there's Kelly in the middle, Carla on the left, and of course the captain, Hank, on the right. Went and visited with the whole group before the game. Very good spirits for that whole group. Kelly bounced around like she did 30 years ago.
Well, yeah.
Kelly hasn't changed a bit.
At all. Having fun at the ballpark. So, Captain, happy 81st birthday.
Hank was obviously the broadcaster here when we both got traded to the Giants. And then when I started doing games in 1986, I started working with Hank. And then later on, you had the same experience in the early 90s working with Hank.
Well, he taught us our profession, basically, and did it with a thundering velvet hand. Very patient.
Got him. A little late call, but this was the 1989 clinch game against the Cubs. Here's Hank's call.
Bedrosian throws to Sandberg, and the pitch is grounded to second base. Thompson has it, throws to first. It's over. 27 years of waiting have come to an end. The Giants have won the pennant.
Go to the World Series! Oh, yes!
It's a great call. Here's Herrera, who doubled in front of Span in the first inning.
Well, he had a lot of them, and he was fun to work with. I mean, he was such an entertaining guy off the microphone.
This is hit on the ground to Pena. We did learn the hard way on a few occasions with Hank, and maybe we'll share those with you, maybe we won't.
Thundering velvet hand. And that's how we learn.
The A's are in for the annual Babe Ruth Series. You can watch the Giants take on their Bay Area rival. Both games start at 7:15. Tickets are still available Monday and Tuesday. sfgiants.com/tickets. Span will lead things off. He opened up the bottom of the first with a strikeout. And he bunts it third base side. Who's going to get it? It'll be nobody. And Span's aboard.
Man, you can't execute a bunt any better than that. Yeah, we're going to make it our Ford Ride choice because this is textbook perfect.
Look at that, 3 different people going after that bunt.
It's just too far for Ruiz, who's very good out of the catching position, coming on, fielding these bunts. It was beyond him. Pitchers out of the equation. It was going to be Miguel Franco, and really an unrealistic chance even for him. Right off the end of the bat, deadened the ball, showed it late.
Somewhere Brett Butler's smiling.
3-8 down the line. And there's nobody going to make that play. Yeah, Brett Butler would love that one.
So here's Pagan. Pagan takes wide.
Phillies keeping Franco, the third baseman, in on the grass in anticipation of a possible another bunt.
And a strike at 89, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pagan had a base hit up the middle in the first inning. He eventually scored on a Crawford ground ball. 1-1 ball game here in the third. Down the left field line. Did he do it again? You bet he did. It's going to roll and then stop, and that's going to allow Span to score. Pagan has got another double, and the Giants take the lead. Stay hot, Angel Pagan.
And we saw him do the same thing yesterday. He's taking the outside pitch. Now the movement from the breaking ball coming back into him, and just stayed inside it. It takes the outside location down the left field line. And here's where the Giants catch a break, because Cody Ashe really thought that ball was going to come back and get all the way down in the corner, and when it stopped, it allowed Span with his good speed to score easily.
And he read it right. That's really what the ball should have done. So here's Belt, who doubled in the first. Swing and a miss.
Good changeup.
And Cody Ashe read this thing perfectly.
Yeah, he's thinking, okay, I'm going to play back on it. It goes up and hits the pad and just dies. See him taking an angle to get back to where he thought it was going to go. Now you got to regroup.
Foul back. I want to go back. How did you explain that again about Hank when he got us through the rough patch?
Thundering velvet hand. But I mean, his corrections were, were strict, but there was a gentleness to him.
Thundering velvet hand. Yeah, I wish I'd have known that at the time.
But you didn't make the same mistake twice. Not with Hank.
Belt skies it into center field. Herrera is going to catch it. Pagan's probably going to bluff.
Let's listen on the Pagan hit if there was catcher's interference. And there was. And you saw plate umpire Doug Eddings immediately point down to Carlos Ruiz. But the deal is, it's a live ball. If you hit the ball after catcher's interference and it goes into play, you can take it. At the very least, he was going to get a base.
It's one of the rare times you can pick. Mr. Pagan, what would you rather have? Another swing or that double? I think I'll go with the double.
Yeah. He opted wisely.
If Hernandez doesn't try to keep Pagan close, he may think about going. I mentioned earlier, Pagan's got 7 steals.
Well, and Nola is pretty quick out of the stretch with a runner at first base, but he can get very slow with a runner at second. And a lot of pitchers are that way.
Probably thought that was a bit outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. There's our beautiful crowd here today on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Tap foul. Ball got up again, and Buster Posey rolls it past Brandon Crawford in the on-deck circle. 1-2. Dodgers and Pirates tonight. That's the nationally televised game tonight.
1-2 to Buster Posey. Pagan chase back. Giants have 5 hits in this game. The Phillies have 1. Way outside, not close. 2-2.
Now with Hernandez, the second baseman, he's kind of playing off the bag a little bit. The unload time from Nola has been right around 1.5 seconds. That's really slow.
Buster charges one down the right field line. Fair ball. And the long throw into second is going to be late. Coming in to score is Pagan.
Well, it's easy to see what the approach has been the second time through the lineup. They're thinking the opposite way. Nola got a strike, a wide strike off of Posey early in the at-bat. Here he tries to come back again, and he leaves it up. And Posey goes right with it and backspins it the other way. And the ball does not slice. With a ball like that, you're dialed.
There's Crawford, who picked up an RBI and a ground ball in the first.
Easy score for Pagan.
Pickoff play almost sailed into center field. Buster Posey's got 4 steals. Look, he's got a couple that have been back-enders, but if he gets a lead, he's going to go. Maybe not the greatest move right now. You're already in scoring position. But Posey's thinking about it. And a base hit into center field. Posey froze, and now they're going to hold him. Roberto Kelly had no idea that the throw was going to go into second. So that'll put runners at the corner.
You have to freeze and make sure the ball is going to be a ball that gets through the infield. And that little stop right there is what cost the Giants a run and Brandon Crawford an RBI. You know, and you really want to. I mean, you want to be careful and you want to be smart. But basically, what we saw from Herrera, the center fielder, I mean, he basically conceded that run by the throw in the second.
He had no idea that Buster Posey froze.
And as a third base coach, I mean, you're anticipating that ball is going to come home. Right. So that's not something you can hang on Roberto Kelly either.
Parker bounced out to short. He did that in the first inning to end the inning. And that's what Nola's done to a number of these Giants hitters. Start them out with that breaking ball and jump ahead 0-1.
Well, I mean, he did the same thing to Parker's first at bat. First 2 pitches, curveball, and quick 0-2. And he's got a good feel and command of that pitch. And I think he feels that Parker's a guy that just sits on a fastball. So they're staying with soft stuff. One thing the Giants could not do in last night's ball game was add on. They had a 2-0 lead and they could not add to it. They had opportunities. They could not come up with a big swing of the bat. But that's, I'm sure, something on their mind today.
Well, they added on Friday, and because they did, they won the game.
And that was a 1-run game.
Phillies came back, loaded the bases in the 9th with 2 outs. And a base hit to right field. Coming in to score is Posey. It's 4-1. Parker with an RBI single.
It's 5 hits this inning. And they've all been solid, excluding the bunt. I guess he got pretty good wood on the bunt. Let's take a look at this one. Got it up right above the thigh, middle end. And nice job of letting that ball get into him deep. No reach in that swing.
Pena singled in the second. A strike. And it's 0-1. Connor Gillespie on deck. Pena had a couple of strikeouts in the game yesterday, and they were on the same pitch. It was that big curveball in the dirt. Foul back. The pitch was up. It's 0-2.
He was not fooled on that speed.
Crawford at second, Parker at first. And he gets an 0-2 fastball that he shoots foul.
Yeah, he's upset. He didn't do more with that pitch. That was a mistake. Nola got away with one there.
Look out. Ouch.
So ahead in the count 0-2. He's trying to put it above his hands. And he just slings it right into the side of Pena. And that could not have felt good. That hit him in a tough place.
Right in the ribs.
Ouch. But I mean, that's not something with intent behind it. That's just a mistake.
Gillespie. Oh, it hurt me. Gillespie bounced into a double play in the second. He likes to get after it early, so we'll see if he gets a fastball on the first pitch. Pulled foul. It was not a fastball, but he did jump on it.
Phillies starting to get a little activity in their bullpen. It's going to be Brett Oberholzer, one of their 2 lefties.
Gillespie gets hit on the foot. That'll knock in a run for the Giants.
And he got him with a curveball. So right now, Aaron Nola is a mess. That's the 3rd Giant hitter he got, 2 of which he's hit with a curveball. Remember, Buster Posey got hit with a curveball. Here, bases loaded, gets him right on the top of the foot.
If it hurts a lot, that's when Billy Hayes will say, "You got an RBI on that."
That he did. Ninth hitter coming up for the Giants, and it's going to be Johnny Cueto. And Aaron Nola is leaking oil.
Cueto will jump on that first pitch.
The wheels have come off. And I don't think there's a pitch right now that he completely trusts.
5 hits in the inning. And a strike.
A generous strike.
Curveball, 1-2.
Well, remember, if you're a pitcher, bases loaded, less than 2 outs, it's better to strike out than even do a double play.
If you think you're going to strike out, or if you think you're going to hit into a double play, look out. A delayed reaction by Nathan Stallhut.
Let's take a look at
Come on, Nathan.
Nathan's effort. All right. And
Nathan looked like he was looking at traffic, didn't he?
Heart was not in it.
And Cueto strikes out on the big breaking ball. Span led the inning off with a beautiful bunt on the third base line for a hit. He's got an opportunity now to pick up a couple of RBIs. One ball and no strikes.
Next pitch, number 60 for Nola.
And a strike. One ball and one strike.
This inning, next pitch will be number 30.
One ball, one strike. Swing and a foul. Held on by Ruiz. It's 1-2.
Good curveball.
Got him, and that'll end the inning. A lot of action here in the third inning. Giants with 5 hits. 2 of them, a double by Pagan and a double by Posey. And the Giants lead 5-1.
lead as we head to the 4th. Grounds crew, as they do here in the middle of the game, drag the infield, water it a little bit. I don't know if they water it, but they do drag the infield. Candlestick, they had a hookup right behind the mound, remember?
Yeah.
Stick the hose in and water it down. Here's Peter Borges, and he takes a strike.
Well, and they couldn't water it enough. I mean, they really should have done it twice.
The wind just tore it up. High pop up. Crawford shading his eyes, but Span is going to get there and make the catch. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, guys. Well, if you ask most people, where were you 8 years ago, they'd need a couple minutes to figure it out. Not Sergio Romo. It's our McDonald's true story on this date in Giants history. 2008, Sergio Romo in Cleveland made his major league debut. A clean-shaven, mind you, and shaved head Romo. He pitched 1 inning, got 2 strikeouts. Dad was pumped. Sergio Romo there talking to Jonathan Sanchez and Merkin Valdez, guys.
Yeah, another pop-up. And Denard Span is going to get there and make the catch. It looked like one of the Indians hitters was Mark DeRosa. Could be wrong.
Well, you can hardly recognize Sergio Romo with the mustache and the haircut.
Hey, D-Row, if you're watching and it wasn't you, seriously, I apologize. Maybe Casey Blake. Sorry, D-Row. He's still living. Look out. And getting hit was Franco.
And there's a warning. Johnny Cueto's going out. That was an accident. It just kind of slipped, trying to jam him. But you're a starting pitcher and you watch the other pitcher hit 3 of your guys. Well, did Aaron Nola do it on purpose? No. But it doesn't matter.
Plus, they were 3 breaking balls. 2 breaking balls.
Yeah, the one that hit Pena, well, that was a fastball and an 0-2 count. And with the bases loaded, certainly not something they wanted to do. But it doesn't matter. You know, the Phillies know the deal. If you're going to get a guy, that's how you do it.
Well, I get why the umpires have to do it. I do.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's been handled. The warning's been given. Now, if anybody throws at anybody here on out, that pitcher will be gone and that manager will be gone.
0-1 to Cody Ash, who was trying to hit one into the pond. I'll tell you what, it'll get the visiting dugout ratcheted up a little bit.
Well, I mean, they can't be that surprised. They really can't. But I think this is the way that the game has handled it for 140 years, and I think that's the right way to handle it. Pete McCannon, Larry Boehm, they're hard-nosed players. I mean, that's how they teach the game. Do they like seeing one of their guys gets hit? No. But their pitcher hit 3 of the opponents. Well, were they intentional? Doesn't matter.
One and 2. Doug Eddings just took his hat off. I don't know what that means.
Well, it means that Johnny Cueto thought he had strike 3. He disagreed with it. And Eddings, once the mask goes off, umpire's giving you a warning. Do not press on.
Down low. Franco will be on the move. Tap foul. Two pop-ups and Franco hit by a pitch. Runner goes. And the walk. Number 2010, the NLCS. Jonathan Sanchez ends up hitting Utley. Ball bounced to Utley. Utley flipped it back to Sanchez. And while all this was going on, Jeremy Affeldt stayed in the bullpen under the guidance of Mark Gardner.
He came in and really brought some calm into the game for the Giants, and a lot of people will tell you that his contribution to that game was huge. They don't win it without Affeldt that night.
Affeldt went 2 innings.
Man, it was a 3-2 ball game. And, I mean, quieted things down that inning, quieted it down the next inning. Came a bullpen game early. Bullpen stood tall.
Foul back. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Bumgarner pitched in that game out of the pen. Lincecum, Lopez. Well, you don't think you're going to win a game like that when your starter is gone that early.
Not on the road. And not to a team that had the reputation that the Phillies have.
Out of play, 1 and 2. This guy in that game hit a line drive. Remember that Aubrey Huff caught? I think it was in the 8th inning. And Huff ended up throwing to second to Renteria for a double play. Two and 2.
Pitch number 50. At the end of 4 innings, you want to be 60 pitches or less, so the pitch count really not that much of an issue. But ever since the hit batsman, he's really had to dig deep here.
And a base hit up the middle. Span's going to get to it. They're going to wave in Franco. Here's the throw, and it's going to be cut off. And it's now 5-2.
Now the bullpen that night, Jeremy Affeldt with 2 innings, and Madison Bumgarner out of the rotation coming in. Javier Lopez with all the left-handed hitters that the Phillies had. The Giants pulled out all their stops, and then Lincecum comes in, gives the ball to the closer, Brian Wilson. And there's the play you're talking about.
Wilson came in the 8th. Elvis rolls this one foul.
And in the end, it was Brian Wilson that struck out Ryan Howard with 2 men on in a 1-run ball game. And the Giants would claim the National League pennant.
Now, Cueto had 2 outs with 3 pitches. Borges and Joseph. And also, it doesn't look like the strike zone has gotten any friendlier since Cueto hit Michael Franco.
I agree with you. I think the corners have shortened.
Off the glove of Pena. Coming in to score is Ashe, and it's 5-3.
Well, the old saying, let sleeping dogs lie. That batsman has definitely fired up the Phillies, and Dave Righetti going to come out now as this inning has gotten long. And have a chat with Johnny Cueto. Let's take a look at Freddie Gallis's at bat. Like a little cutter that didn't do a whole lot. Laid out over the middle of the plate. To the right, a high bounce and a high backhanded attempt from Pena, and he couldn't do much with it. So the Phillies making some noise here.
Well, in the rally for 3, hit batter, a walk, and then 2 singles. Hernandez bounced out to Crawford in the 3rd inning. And it's 0-1.
94. It's the best velocity he's had on a pitch today.
Belt to Cueto. Nice play by Boat to end the inning. That's a tough flip right there and a tough catch.
That's a great play. Very difficult. If you're Belt, I mean, you're on your belly. Now you got to figure out an angle with how to get that ball to Cueto, and Cueto's got to be flexible enough to get it. Little backhanded flip. Receives it. Oh, that's unbelievable.
By authority of the San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Giants with a 5-3 lead. As Angel Pagan's going to lead things off.
Says, let's go. Got the family there. Everything's good.
Pagan is 2 for 2, a single and a double. He scored twice. Belt and then Posey. That's had 5 hits in the bottom of the 3rd.
I think Noah's on kind of a short leash here right now. Left-hander Oberholzer's down there in the bullpen. He's getting another hump. I have to think that anybody gets on base here.
The Giants have 5 hitters, 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup. High and deep to right. It is foul. Pagan was saying something to Jeff Nelson.
All right, how foul was it? No, maybe a couple feet. I'll tell you what, this one guy, I mean, he almost makes the play of the decade.
Yeah, almost ends up on the warning track. Easy, big fella.
So a little hop of frustration.
It's another one foul. Slow curveball at 73 miles per hour. Ooh, little flinch by Doug Innings.
All right, how close was it to being a home run? That's close. I'm still giving the guy an A for effort.
Hernandez going to his left, makes the play, 1 out.
Good bat. Well, the Giants Insider Podcast is live on csnbayarea.com. You can log on each week as Insider Alex Pavlovich will talk baseball, and it's also available on iTunes. Check it out.
Belt 1 for 2. He doubled in the first. And he hooks one foul.
Got me a nice play without a glove. Not bad. Those around you appreciate that effort. All right, let's take a look at it. First hand, had him played perfectly. Semi watched it into his hands.
Swinging a foul at the plate, nothing in 2.
No, it'll take a lot of time.
Well, we saw Hellickson do the same thing yesterday. Mostly, though, when he was in trouble.
Yeah, certainly not with nobody on base.
Belt goes the other way, and he's got a base hit. Doesn't really do that very often, but that's a very nice swing of the bat.
Yeah, that was not a hanger either. That ball was right on the outside corner, maybe even off the plate with movement going away. Two-seam movement, stay inside it. Oh boy, look at the head stay down for the swing. Just shooting it to left field. Guys would love to answer that 2 spot the Phillies put up at the top of this inning.
Here's Buster Posey, hit by a pitch and then a double down the right field line. And ball away from the target. He didn't get the call. 1-0.
Take a look at the direction of outfield hits that have come off the bat of Brandon Belt. And he's starting to use the left side of the field more. 23 of his 51 hits have been to left field.
Two and 0.
Don, we salute you. Posey, hit me your best shot. Brandon Belt is my giraffe. There you go. Think they had fun doing that?
They did.
I think they're out of glitter in their house, though.
Worked hard. Two and 0 to Posey. Belt back.
Glitter is one thing we did not do in the house.
We were not big glitter people either.
When you broke out the glitter, you'd have to do it in the middle of the backyard on the grass.
Posey with a big swing and a miss. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
He had a big get it in curveball to do something with. It was up. He was checking with Eddings if that ball was a strike too. And this time I think Eddings said yes.
Posey slowly hit. He's going to have a hit.
Maikel Franco, I mean, he makes a pretty good decision here as he's coming in on the ball, playing deep, a swing and bunt. And just as he gets down to try and barehand it.
So he didn't touch it, huh?
I don't think he did. But that was his only chance because this ball was, he's not going to have a chance to make a play. Lets it go and it does stay in fair territory. Let's see if he touches it. No, he does not.
So we have a pitching change. Posey with an infield hit. It's 5-3 and we'll be back. Inning. When it's time for a change, things speedy. Oil change and auto service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
So Brett Oberholzer, the new pitcher now for Philadelphia, the 18th game that he has come in. He's transitioned from the starting rotation into the bullpen. And he's done a nice job. 29 strikeouts in 36 innings. Oberholzer's a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, he'll sink and cut. Curveball, slider, changeup. He'll throw them all.
Crawford takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. See Blanco now into second. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Crawford. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0. Crawford will sit on a fastball right here. And he skies one out into right center field. Borges makes the catch. 2 outs for Parker. Parker 1 for 2. Lefty to lefty. Swinging a foul off the end of the bat.
Fasten your belt. Let's drive it out. Good signs today.
Strike at the knees. It's 0-2.
I'd like to know if that was on the swing or the call. It didn't look like it was a pitch that should have been called a strike. No argument for Parker.
And that'll end the inning. Giants strand a pair. It's 5-3. To get your vote in for Buster Posey, for Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, a whole bunch of the Giants. Last count, Buster was right behind Yadier Molina. Head to sfgiants.com/vote, and you can vote for Buster and the other Giants into the MLB All-Star Game on July 12th. June 30th voting ends. A few more days. Here's Blanco to face Cueto. First pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Blanco came in on the double switch, and he's hitting at 273. And this is tapped to Crawford. Crawford on the run. 1 out.
Well, it's been a tradition and a really good one that Miss White, the teacher in Foster City School, and Room 35 has sent us a little collection of art that her students have made. Each one in her class would take a Giants player or broadcaster, and they would have a little poem that they would write, and it's just so beautifully done. And this is this year's version. So Miss White, we love the tradition. The players love the tradition. It'll be in the Giants clubhouse so they can see it. So all kids, you've done another very good thing, and thank you. One more look.
How does the cover look like?
Cover.
Beautiful.
Alike or different, we are Giant.
Bunnett, Posey, Belt. Well, I got to look at it, see what it says about you and me. Lollipops are sweet. At the same time, Amy G is sweet. On the contrary, Amy G is not a piece of candy.
And you know, every page is that creative and good. Uh-oh.
So Buster Posey going to take some inventory on this one.
Got him off the top of his little toe on his left foot. Well, you just hold your breath, that's all. We've seen catchers break toes in similar situations, not to be pessimistic, but it's an area of vulnerability. Now they have extended protective pieces that come off the shin guards, but that was all toe and no shin guard. Dave Gresham, Bruce Bochy out. Apparently Buster's all right.
Well, if Buster's all right, then I can read the next one on you. You ready?
All right.
This is from Miss White's class in Foster City. Cueto knocks it down, and this is going to be a hit because Borges runs way too well. So Borges is aboard. A parrot is similar to Mike Krukow. They're both very funny and they like to talk. A parrot has feathers. On the contrary, Mike Krukow wears clothes.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
awesome. A good one.
Here's Tommy Joseph. Dwayne Kuiper is very courageous when he talks in front of a crowd. And sometimes we are courageous when we read our essays to our class.
Hey, there you go.
Dwayne Kuiper is older and has more knowledge in comparison to us kids. I don't know about that.
Very respectful.
Don't know about that. Those are pretty good. And a strike. It's nothing in two. No balls and 2 strikes. Hunter Strickland is like a hunter because his fastballs are like a speeding bullet going to hunt the prey.
Nice.
He is like a hunter because his fastballs are very sneaky. Ah, very good. Way to go, Miss White. We will be in the clubhouse. This is out of play. I need to put that up somewhere on the wall. Mike Krukow is like a parrot.
Yeah.
He likes to talk.
He likes to talk.
But he is very funny. 0-2 to Tommy Joseph. Borges just backed.
But each kid, I mean, they get a player or coach or manager, broadcaster, and so they've got to study up on that guy. They got to find something out about that guy that they can put in the picture and make their little poem. And it's all very well done.
Foul back. We do forget, because we've done this for such a long time, how difficult it can be to speak in front of people and to show your work in front of the class. I know when I was in high school, getting up in front of the class wasn't my favorite thing to do.
I don't think anybody likes it.
Unless I was walking in front of the class.
Yeah, different set of rules when you turn around and face your classmates.
Oh, 2. Pulled foul.
Trying to throw a little cutter on that inside corner. Tommy Joseph, I mean, you could see why the Phillies like this guy, and they really had to wait for him because he went through a long time where he couldn't play because of the concussions he received, getting foul balls hitting off his mask when he was catching. So no longer any symptoms of the concussion.
Drives this one to left. Pagan's going to get to it on a hop. His throw is going to go into second. And sliding will be Joseph, and now the tying runs at second base.
Yeah, that's a good 2-out, 2-strike at bat right there from Joseph. Mistake either. I mean, he throws that 2-seamer. That's off the plate. Gives you an idea how strong Joseph is. Watch the elbows bend through the swing. I mean, that's really, you know, that type of ability gets teams pretty excited about a young player.
Well, that's where Cueto wanted to throw it.
Right where he wanted to throw it. Now Cueto's going to face the guy he drilled.
Low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Cueto hits the outside corner.
Cueto really can pitch to whoever he wants to here. He can either pitch to Franco or he can go after Cody Ashe, who's on deck. And you know what Franco's trying to do?
Oh, of course.
He's trying to hit one off the glove.
But that's another 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that's when you see it, when he's really digging deep. By design. I think he kept trying to climb the ladder, go up across the letters.
They're gone.
The corners have really dried up ever since Cueto hit Franco with a pitch. The strike zone has gotten smaller, and this was a strike earlier in the game. And Doug Eddings looking right through it. So, ratchet up the drama and the anxiety, and you can see it on the face of Bruce Bochy.
Fouled out of play. 95. And that was with a little bit of a quick pitch.
Still With the open first base, he can be careful here. You have to respect Franco's power. So he uses the base.
And here's Ashe. Ashe drew a walk in the fourth.
Cueto has never, ever given up a grand slam. Take a look at that 3-2 slider in the attempt to hold up the swing. Good call. He did not swing.
So 1-0 to Ashe. Foul back. Four pitches to retire Blanco and Herrera, and now 16 after that.
So a talk about pitch selection, about location. One thing about Cueto, I mean, when he says he's going to hit a spot, I mean, he's normally going to do that very thing.
Two balls and a strike. Fifth inning.
Been a lot of work these last couple of innings out of the stretch for Johnny Cueto, and that's after 2 quick outs in each inning.
Hit on the ground and a base hit. Borges scores, Joseph scores, and this game is tied. So the Phillies have come back like they have in this entire series.
2-1 fastball right over the middle of the plate, right back up the middle. And with that swing in the back, Derek Law heads down the Giants bullpen. He'll start getting loose, and Dave Righetti going to come out and kill a little time. Give Johnny Cueto a breather. I imagine he's very frustrated at this point. Thought he had strike 3 on Franco. And hey, one thing we've noticed about Johnny Cueto is that he's pretty good at forgetting. If he gets frustrated by a call or a play, he doesn't think about it very long. So Doug Eddings came out, circled the wagons. I think he had a little something to say. Interesting to see what that conversation was between Dave Righetti and Eddings. I guarantee Righetti was asking him about that one fastball that wasn't called a strike.
Here's Ruiz. Rolls this one to Crawford. Crawford will go the long way, and that'll end the inning. So the Phillies have come back. It's a 5-5 game.
5-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
I will be the first girl in Major League Baseball. Giants inspire me. Hashtag Giants inspire me. All right. Well, it would be our privilege.
Here's Pena in a 5-5 ball game. Pena's been on base twice. And he bunts it foul.
You saw that one strike that wasn't called for Cueto. Let's take a look at the first strike in this inning. Interesting.
So quick 0-2 to Pena.
Giants have to get the momentum back in their dugout because right now it's on the other side of the field.
Hit on the ground into the hole. And Galvis throws him out. Bringing Connor Gillespie to the plate. Gillespie 0 for 1, hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Cueto's coming out, so he's going to hit. Gillespie up the middle. And a base hit. A nice little C-nice single for Connor Gillespie. And now that'll make it easy for Johnny Cueto.
Guard down behind center field wall. Going off right now. Looks like the guard is pretty healthy. So Oberholz is going to check Connor Gillespie over at first base. Bunt situation. That was the whole idea of throwing the ball to first to see if Cueto was going to bunt. And he is. Oberholz does have a pretty good move though. So you feel like a salad?
Yeah, I do.
Then you've come to the right place.
Cueto takes it high. 1 ball and no strikes. Cueto shows bunt. And it's outside 2-0.
Now, if the team's going to give you an out, you got to throw a strike. And Oberholz really wasn't close with either of those first 2 fastballs. Bunt should go down the first base side.
And it does. So Cueto gets Gillespie to second. And now Denard Span will hit.
Best arm for the Phillies is in left field with Ashe. And you've got average speed at best with Connor Gillespie at second base. even with a 2-out jump.
Span had a bunt single in the third. The other 2 at bats, he struck out. Fouls this one out of play, and it's 0-1. Span struck out in the third inning. The Giants had scored 4 runs in his last out game with the bases loaded. Wide open right up the middle for Span.
Big curveball. As you said before, Oberholzer has 4 pitches he can give you. And really 5 different types of movement if you think about the 2-seam and the 4-seam fastball.
Got him. And that's the end of the inning. Doug Eddings having a tough afternoon.
Friday, July 8th through Sunday the 10th and Saturday the 9th, the first 20,000 will receive either a Cueto or Samardzija jersey t-shirt presented by StubHub. You want tickets? Go to sfgiants.com/tickets.
Galvis fouls the first pitch back and out of play. It's 5-5 here in the 6th inning. 81 pitches for Johnny Cueto. Galvis hooks this one foul. Carry him out to Parker. One and two. Hit up the middle. Pena to his right. Check in with Amy G.
All right, right, gentlemen, today's game, not the only competition taking place here at AT&T Park. Very early this morning, 25 qualifiers of the Northern California Pitch, Hit, and Run program. We're here to see who will advance to the national finals at the 2016 All-Star Game. It's such a great program. It allows kids ages 7 to 14 to showcase their skills, show how the big boys how to get it done and stay active. And you never know, there just may be a San Francisco Giant in that group. Might be the future, guys.
Never know. Thanks, Amy. Here's Oberholzer, and he shoots one back to Cueto. 2 down. And that'll bring up Odubel Herrera. Herrera takes in tight. 1 ball and no strikes.
It's not been a problem the last 3 innings for Cueto to get a quick 1-2 outs. But that 3rd out has been tough to find.
I believe I said Herrera. This is not Herrera. This is Blanco. Blanco chases one. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2. Foul back.
When you talk about consistent velocities today, this is probably the start where he's had his most consistent mid-90s velocity. 93, 95 a lot in that slot. And normally he's right around 90, 91 with his average fastball on the day. Just 2 strikeouts.
Into left field, and Blanco hangs on to end the inning. Nice play. Make that Pagan. Pagan, by the way, with the catch, and he'll also lead things off as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning.
on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Kelly Moore Paints, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. By Xfinity, X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
And Pagan takes a strike. Pagan is 2 for 3. Batting right-handed for the first time today. And he shoots this one foul.
Oh, dude, making a play. All right.
Nathan, baby Nathan.
Nathan Stallhut. All right. You got up in time. I got this one. Oh, yeah. That did. Stay on your toes, though. It's easier. Get off those heels.
Pagan on the ground and a base hit. That's his third of the game.
He's really swung the bat well today. Every at bat.
Tomorrow night at 7 on NBC Bay Area, it'll be the Giants and the A's on the Giants television network. And then on Tuesday night, CSN Bay Area. Say Hey Tuesday live from Willie Mays Plaza. Pregame live at 6:30, game at 7. Here are your starters. Here's Belt. Belt is 2 for 3.
Got to be careful with Oberholzer. He's got a good move.
Belt waiting on Oberholzer. And tight. 1 ball and no strikes. That almost got Belt.
Severino Gonzalez starting to get loose. Really a red alert. He's just kind of easing his way into it.
The toss. Pagan back. And with Posey on deck, then after that you've got Crawford and Parker, 2 left-handed hitters. Two and 0. Belt not fishing.
Not fishing.
Tapper knocked down. Belt retired. Pagan to second.
And that's what not fielding that ball cleanly allowed the Giants to do, and let's get to second. I think Oberholzer had plenty of time to get the lead out, maybe even a double play if he fields this thing cleanly.
So Buster Posey will step up. In this game, hit by a pitch, a double and an RBI and a run scored in the 3rd, and then he singled in the 4th. So with 2 lefties coming up, we'll see if Buster Posey gets anything to hit. Strike, and it's 0-1.
Big slow breaking ball to start off the at bat. What was it getting that? Wasn't looking for it.
Posey on the ground. Pagan freezes and goes back. Buster's retired. And that'll bring up Crawford. Crawford. One for three. Taps this one foul. With all the lefties the Giants have seen over the last month, I'm not even sure this is an issue anymore.
Well, you made the point. I mean, you're a left-handed hitter. But the more left-handers you see, the more you get used to seeing breaking balls, and the easier it becomes.
The better you become at it.
I shouldn't say easier. It's never easy. But you do get better, and that's what's happened with this bunch.
Crawford down the left field line. This will be a long run for Cody Ashe, and it's going to be out of play. So it's a quick 0-2 to Brandon Crawford.
You got good speed with Pagan. You're going to get a 2-out jump. Crawford has been very good in this situation. 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And a base hit into right center field. Pagan's going to come in to score. Crawford comes through, and the Giants retake the lead. Great at that.
Yeah, it's just something that he feels very confident in. 2 strike, 2 out at bat. That's a big at bat. All right, time now for our Togo's big play. The Togo's way. We're going to make it a 2 strike, 2 out RBI that puts his team on top. And Crawford, who has just really become so confident in the RBI situation, once again cashes in, and he does it in an 0-2 count. That's our Togo's big play, the Togo's way.
Here's Parker. Parker, 1 for 3. Oberholzer struck him out in the 4th.
I mean, that's the all-star at bat right there.
It is, absolutely. Swing and a miss. Parker trying to extend the inning. Check swing, foul, and it's 0-2.
Like a cricket swing. So Oberholzer once again on top, 0-2. I would be surprised if this was a pitch that would wind up in the strike zone, given the 0-2 at bat that Crawford beat him on.
Tapped slowly, juggling, everybody safe, and now Crawford could be off second, and they didn't get him. And Crawford get dinged.
I think he got dirt in the eye.
Phillies are going to take a look, obviously, at this in the clubhouse.
Nick Lentz, the umpire at second. And there's the opportunity for Oberholzer. He had a little hesitation.
He missed it. Crawford with the miracle slide.
Exactly.
I mean, this is what they teach in fall ball at UCLA.
No, why not? I mean, he swings in head first and then rolls away from the swipe tag. Meanwhile, by the time he does touch him, his left hand's on the bag.
They may want to take a look at it, but it's not going to do him any good.
So Jeff Kellogg, or Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, coming over. They're saying no, they're not going to look at it.
So an error on the pitcher. And now Pena's got an opportunity to knock in another run with Crawford in scoring position. And he cues this one foul. Billy Hayes will gobble that up like the old catcher that he was, and it's no balls and one strike.
Change up there from Oberholzer.
Here's Billy. Out of play, 0-2.
Well, I mean, we saw some 0-2 mistakes to Crawford. We saw the 0-2 pitch to Jared Parker. It was right down the middle. And so, I mean, Oberholzer is really not quite taking advantage of the 0-2. Throwing something that starts off in a corner and let the movement fall out of the strike zone, hope a guy chases. I mean, he's coming right after these guys.
Hit on the ground to third. And Franco will step on the bag, and that will end the inning. So Brandon Crawford knocks in the lead run with his 44th RBI of the season. It's 6-5 Giants.
Now for our Toyota game summary is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Through 6 full innings of play, Phillies 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error. Giants 6 runs on 13 hits. And Johnny Cueto just cruising along, and all of a sudden with a 4-run lead, boop, 2 go up on the 4th, boop, 2 go up on the 5th. It was tied for the Wild. Giants retake the lead, and that is our Toyota game summary, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
Here's Herrera to lead things off, and he'll take a strike at the knees. Herrera doubled in the first and scored. He's bounced out, and he had a sacrifice bunt, and that's a swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
With 93 pitches on the day, Giants are sending Derek Law back into the bullpen to get reheated.
The Cueto. The look.
Yeah, they're feeling it.
Borges on deck, and then Tommy Joseph. 2-2. Fouled out of play.
Last year, Johnny Cueto with Cincinnati and Kansas City 11-13. So this year already, as we still in the month of June, he's got 11 wins, trying to surpass last year's total. Meanwhile, I want to get that. I want to get that. I want to get that.
Oh my goodness. Slice house.
That's a perfect piece.
Little pop up out of play.
Doesn't look like he's in the share mode either.
That's a crispy crust. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, me too. What?
And another 2-2 pitch. And full count.
Trying to wrap around, perhaps a bit low. Next pitch, number 100 on the day.
Hit well out into right center field, and this game is tied. That's Herrera's 8th home run of the year.
Well, a 3-2 challenge. With his speed, you didn't want to walk him. You got to make him swing the bat. So a fastball right out at the middle. And Herrera knows exactly what to do with it.
So here's Borges, who takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Phil's just not going away.
We saw that in the first game. And twice Cueto has allowed 6 runs this year, and the Giants have won both games. There's a base hit to right field. And that'll bring up Tommy Joseph. And that's it. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts. We'll be back.
It's a 6-6 ball game with very, very good speed at first base and nobody out.
The numbers for Law, 26 game he's come into. He's been very good of late.
Strike, and it's 0-1.
See a low to mid-90s fastball, 2 types of movement, curveball, slider, and changeup. And you'll see some quick pitches too. He's incorporated that into his routine.
Likely these two may have played together in the minor leagues. One ball and one strike. Hit out to right. Parker's got room. He'll make the catch. And strong throw into second. 1 out.
Well, that was the job of Peter Borges over at first base. He had to get back to the bag and make Parker make a strong throw.
Osich and Guerin. Franco 0 for 1, hit by a pitch in the 4th, and then he walked in the 5th. Taps this one foul. I suppose he wasn't quite sure, but Doug Eddings made the call. It's a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, kind of unusual play, but if you're posing, that ball gets hit up off the plate like it did. When he comes around and catches the ball and then puts a tag, kind of a hug tag around Franco, and then he's immediately looking second base, thinking that's got a chance to be fair.
And timeout is called. Borges has got 4 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 3 times. Leaning, does not go. Swinging a shot on the ground. Crawford's got it. Flips to Pena on the belt. Double play. It remains 6-6. A 6-6 ball game. New pitcher. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
So David Hernandez, the right-hander, coming in for the 36th time. 45 strikeouts in 35 2/3. You're going to see a fastball that's low to mid-90s, more mids than lows. Good hard slider and a changeup. He can strike you out with all three of them. Well, the hit batsman has been a big story in this game. It was Aaron Nola who hits Buster Posey with a breaking ball, and then he gets Gillespie with a breaking ball. Then he gets Pena with a fastball. That was with bases loaded. And with 2 outs, Johnny Cueto gets Franco. And immediately there was a warning issued after that. And the Giants are saying, well, why wasn't there a warning before when the Phillies hit 3? But that's really when this game turned, because it was a 5-1 game at the time that Franco got hit. But the Phillies have woken up, and they have put 5 runs on the board, all of which were tacked on to Johnny Cueto's day. He winds up going 6+ innings, gives up 8 hits, and allows the 6. And we are tied at 6 apiece. But I would be surprised to see any more hit batsmen.
Hernandez to face Gillespie, and then Gregor Blanco, and then Denard Span. Connor Gillespie has an RBI when he was hit by that pitch. He also hit a ground ball up the middle for a base hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 2.
I think David Hernandez was wondering where that first pitch was.
Tapped foul off of Gillespie's foot. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2. I mean, the one thing Giants hitters know about David Hernandez is he's going to throw hard.
Hernandez missed the entire 2014 season with Tommy John surgery.
Gillespie retired on the strikeout.
Good breaking ball. And that's strikeout stuff. The strikeout totals have always been good. Up and down and in. Breaks his swing down.
Gregor Blanco hitting for the first time. .268 for Gregor Blanco. And he takes low. Low again. Hernandez didn't think so. 2-0. Doug Eddings has made more than 1 or 2 players unhappy with his strike zone, both hitters and pitchers. Three and 0. Blanco probably taking here. And right down Van Ness. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
right down Van Ness. Better take Van Ness right now. Market Street a little bit crowded today.
I would think that all streets are crowded at all the time in the city.
Yeah, especially today.
And the walk.
Pride parade today right down Market Street. So with one out, the Giants get a base runner that can steal a base.
Span 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Out of play. Gregor Blanco kind of giving the look that he might want to take off.
Well, David Hernandez is not especially quick out of the stretch. I mean, he's average at best, but more often than not, he'll give you a little bit of a chance. Ruiz, the catcher, I mean, he didn't have a blazer for an arm, but he's really got a quick release.
Go back. And Joseph just hung on. That was ticketed to the seats.
Well, it's a real quick throw and a high throw. So Tommy Joseph just saved David Hernandez an error. Took away at least 90 feet from the Giants.
Playable. Two outs. So here's Pagan, who's had a really terrific afternoon.
No, you're right. 3 for 4, but hit the ball hard all 4 at bats, and he scored 3 times. It's a pretty spectacular day indeed, but they need him all the more now.
One ball and no strikes. Pagano single in the first, a double in the third. Hit the ball hard. And a hit taken away from him in the fourth by Hernandez, the second baseman, and then he singled and scored in the sixth.
One thing that's been pretty consistent throughout this series is just how deliberate the guys coming out of the Phillies bullpen are. I mean, they slow it down.
Swing and a miss. Blanco started to go, and maybe he stumbled, but he put on the brakes.
Take a look at the way he leaves the bag, gets a secondary lead.
Maybe he wasn't happy with his jump.
He could have just been bluffing too. Slow it down. When you see just one guy coming out of a bullpen, you're figuring, well, that's the guy's deal, right? When you see a lot of guys do it, you think it's the pitching coach's deal. Bob McClure, the leader of this Phillies pitching staff.
High and deep into right center field.
This baby is off the bricks. Blanco scores. Pagan headed for 3. They got him at third. And the Giants take the lead on a ball hit way out into Triple's alley. And that's his 4th hit of the game. 7-6 Giants. Here in the 8th inning, and there's your new pitcher,
Josh Osich, 38th time he's come in. 0-1 with a 4.09 ERA. See mid to high 90s, more highs than mids of late. He's really found some velocity on that fastball with 2-seam movement that runs hard into a lefty away from a righty. Got a hard slide and a changeup.
So here's Cody Ashe, and he takes low. Ashe had a base hit up the middle to knock in a pair of runs in the 5th, a 2-out single. And this is Belt, and he can't get it. It's off his glove down the right field line. It caroms out to Parker, and Parker's throw is going to be late. And here come the Phillies again.
They do not quit. So Angel Pagan with his 4th hit absolutely gets every bit of this thing, and he's measuring it out leaving the box. I don't know if he's got any more. I mean, he just crushes this thing, but still not enough to get it over the wall in right field. Hits high off the wall, and a real nice job there from Odubel Herrera to get the ball into the cutoff man, who they then relay it to Miguel Franco. But Pagan thought he had a home run, and here he's saying, I'm going to challenge and go to third, and the Phillies put on a play, and they get him.
Here's Ruiz. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Ruiz singled in the 4th. 1 for 3. Up the middle, and a base hit. Span's going to get to it, and this game is tied. Well, they are the fighting Phils this series.
They really have been. So Ruiz coming up big, going right back up the middle, as we've seen him do so many times through the years, going up the middle to the opposite way. Uses the whole field. Feisty. Corey Guerin up a second time.
And the bunt, and it's foul.
Giants have given up the tying run in the 7th and again here in the 8th.
Now Belt may be saying, hey, we could put a play on here. I'm going to break in, then I'm going to come back to bag. It's the type of pickoff play that you have to have some communication with. But Ruiz really not much of a base stealer or a threat over first base. Got catcher's legs.
And he's had them for a while. Bunted. And they get the out at first. If Belt would have fielded that, he'd have gone to second. And you'd almost wish that Osich would have backed off on it.
See how aggressive the Giants are out in the corners. Oh, you're right. Well, there has to be communication on the play. Let's see if he's yelling. He is not. So from Osich's perspective, you get the out. You get to the ball.
So here's Jimmy Paredes. 209 average. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Seven here in the 8th inning. On the ground. Gillespie to Belt. Nice play, 2 out.
Nice play indeed. Took a hit away. That's how good that play was. Ball hit to the left of Gillespie. Spears it right in the sweet spot. Straightens up. Knew where the runner at second was. And all the time in the world to gun down Paredes.
Blanco, who came in on a double switch, and he lined out to Pagan in the 6th inning.
See Herrera and his perspective from the Phillies on deck circle. Just a great shot of the ballpark from that area.
Low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Osich working a slow pace. Been a lot of offense today. 24 hits, 14 runs scored, knotted up 7 apiece.
Two and two.
That's 96 mile/hour two-seam movement that's sunk away from Andres Blanco.
Well, it's one of the reasons why Bruce Bochy doesn't really play the matchup game with Osich.
There just aren't that many guys in the league from the left side that have that type of movement at that type of velocity. If you can consistently put it up the outside corner of these right-hand hitters, that's tough to do something with that pitch.
And he got him to end the inning. That was pretty nasty. Belt, Posey, Crawford coming up.
benefiting our troops during the July 4th through 6 games. And that package will include the American Flag Giants hat, tickets to the Giants take on the Rockies, and $5 from each package benefits Operation Care and Comfort to aid in their ongoing mission to support troops, veterans, and their families. And it all starts at $99. Visit sfgiants.com/special events. It's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Severino Gonzalez, the new pitcher now, 8 strikeouts in 6 1/3. And you're going to see a low to mid-90s fastball. He will 2 and 4 seam. He's got a curveball and a changeup. You just saw the changeup.
Big overshift. Galvis playing in. And this is hooked foul. And Galvis the only defender on the left side. Now he's going to back up a little bit. Belt has tried a number of times to bunt and really just hasn't worked for him. Pops this one up into left field. And Cody Ashe makes the catch. 1 out. And that'll bring up Buster Posey. Buster today has 2 hits and 3 at-bats. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Javier Lopez starting to heat up.
Yeah, it's got a piece. It's 0-2.
Hey, Maddie and Cole just got married. Well, congratulations and best wishes.
All right. 0-2 to Posey.
Hey, they've earned that right.
Buster Posey strikes out. 2 outs.
The changeup.
High changeup, I might add. Here's Crawford. Crawford, couple of hits, couple of RBIs. Right now trying to get on for Parker. And the called strike, and it's 0-1.
He opened up a first pitch on the outside corner, comes back in the second pitch on the hands with 94.
On the ground, foul.
Severino Gonzalez from Panama. Look at it. So going back inside again with 94. And that pitch had a little steam on it.
Two and 2. Chopped to second. Blanco will make the play, and that'll end the inning. So we'll head to the 9th. It's 7-7.
player of the game brought to you by Honda. Angel Pagan is that man. This is the third inning when he had the first of his 2 RBIs and the second of his 4 hits. And in the 7th inning, this is the one that put the Giants back on top. And he wound up being thrown out third, but winds up a 4-hit day. Could have been 5. Scored a couple runs. 3 runs, knocked in 2. He's our player of the game, brought to you by Honda.
Here's Herrera. Herrera bounces this one to Crawford, and Crawford will go to Bell. 1 pitch, 1 out. Herrera's going to let you know how his at-bat goes really fast. And Bruce Bochy's coming out. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. Giants in the A's, and that'll be the final game of the homestand. Pre-game live will start at 6:30. We have the game for you right at the top of the hour. And Say Hey Tuesday is back. Now you come out to the ballpark at Willie Mays Plaza, where the pre-game show will be held. The first 500 fans are going to get a cheer card and an authentic Giants fan T-shirt. Free.
Corey Guerin, the new pitcher now for the Giants. This is what he has done in 35 games. 2-0 with a 2.20 ERA with a couple of saves. Opponents just 6 for their last 47 against him. Hitting $128 during that time. He's been hot.
And a slider for a strike.
And that slider really has been a pitch that has enabled him to do that. I mean, he's got a good sinker. From a high sidearm position, he'll go low 90s with it, but the slider has really gotten quicker. It's got better command of it. Good weapon.
And then he comes back with a fastball at 93, and it's 0-2. Couple of singles for Borges.
It's had a good series.
Pretty much where Buster Posey wanted it. It's 1-2.
Borges came into this series hitting .230, and he put 16 points on his batting average these 3 games.
Runs it in. It's 2-2. You're going to keep throwing that slider away all the time, then you do have to do that every once in a while.
You do have to use both sides of the plate, no doubt. And you got to throw strikes on both sides of the plate.
Tapped up the middle. And that's going to be a base hit.
He's got the magic wand-do going.
So here's Joseph.
Well, this swing of the bat here now, he starts out the series hitting 230. Now he's hitting 250. Right back up the middle, split the uprights.
Joseph 1 for 3. "11 hits for the Phillies. Giants with 14. Ain't gonna miss.
And that's where Garen wants to be. That's where the ground balls are, the knee-high location. And that's the beauty of what he represents. He got to get you a ground ball and a strikeout.
Tap foul. It's 0-2. Keep waiting for Borges to go. I mean, he hasn't done it in the entire series.
I know. I was surprised looking at his stolen base totals on the year. He's got 4 bags stolen. He's been thrown out 3 times. I mean, he was for the longest time one of the fastest guys in the league. Now he still has good legs. I don't know if he's in the elite top 5 now, but still, I mean, in a tie ball game, it's go time. You got your RBI guys up there, but he has not attempted it.
Got him.
Now let's take a look at the slider. And Tommy Joseph, I mean, he missed that by 6 inches. And it wasn't like he was pulling off it either.
Here's Franco. And a quick toss and Borges back. Rockies and D-backs, same score, 7-7.
Well, you kind of expect a game like that in Coors Field. Here, 7-7 kind of turns your head a little bit. Not used to seeing that many runs scored in this park.
Hit on the ground and a base hit. First hit for Franco. And that'll bring up Cody Ashe. Cody Ashe. A couple of hits. And a breaking ball that's wide. Carlos Ruiz is on deck. He's a right-handed hitter. Good speed at second. A 7-7 game.
Nail bite time right now.
2-0.
He's going after him. Leads me to believe that he may take that open sack at third base. With 2 outs, not a problem. But you just have to have the confidence that you can throw strikes with the bases loaded.
Timeout is called.
Garrett has a pre-pitch routine that he'll go through every time before he gets ready to throw. And he's going to come at you on his terms.
Tap to Pena to Belt. And Garrett gets the ground ball to end the inning. Parker, Pena, Gillespie coming up. After Giants post-game live, you can see it at 6. You can see it at 10:30 right here on CSN Bay Area. Fallon Smith and Henry Wolford, they will do the honors. You'll get highlights from this game. You get the latest from this ballpark and racing in Sonoma. So Parker is going to lead things off. Parker, Pena, Gillespie. 3 left-handed hitters. And then you have the pitcher spot. Parker, 1 for 4. And he rolls it foul.
Yeah, he was swinging to end this game. And if you've got power like Parker has, I mean, that's definitely what's on your mind.
That's what you should do.
That is indeed correct.
Inside, it's a ball and a strike. Nola, Oberholzer, Hernandez, Gonzalez. Out of play, 1 and 2.
Looking for a mistake, something you can drive. Doubtful he'll have much of a 2-strike adjustment here. I still think he'll let that bat head fly.
Foul back. Giants have Panic, Brown, and Williamson still available.
1-2 to Parker. Parker breaks his bat. This is popped out to Galvis. 1 out. And here's Pena.
All right, let's take a look at the broken bat. Just a big hanging breaking ball that just saws him off. That is a weird feeling when you're up there with nothing but a handle.
So that's been a pretty good pitch for him, the hanging breaking ball.
Well, he's got a cutter. It always looks like a hang when it gets up there around the belt or above. But it's definitely a pitch you can get in tight to lefties and break their bats.
High down the right field line into the corner, and it's a fair ball. And Pena is going to stop at second. And I don't know what happened, but you would think that Pena, with his speed, maybe would be at third.
Well, I mean, he hits it and he sort of stands there and starts to measure. And then this right here is time's not well spent. And it could have been the difference between him being on second base and being on third base with 1 out. Gorgeous.
I mean, you got to be a third.
Got to be a third. But he's measuring and thinking, is it fair? Is it foul? Is it out of here? But if he busts out of that box, I mean, he's standing at third base with 1 out. Borges just boxes the play. And I just don't know if he ever felt comfortable coming over for it. So, hey, it's a double. It's a 1 out double. He's in scoring position. But you wonder if it could have been better had he busted out of the box.
So here's Gillespie. Gillespie has 1 hit in 3 at bats, and he takes low. Joe Panik is now on deck.
And he's got pretty good speed at second.
That's that area where you can get it. If there's such a thing as a cheap home run, that's how you get him here. I think Bonds had 1 in his lifetime. Out of play, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. For Pena, his second hit. Gillespie a chance to send everybody home. Very shallow in right is Borges. And a base hit down the right field line. And this game is over. And Connor Gillespie sends everyone home with a drive down the right field line. As Bruce Bochy likes to call Connor, Mr. Happy.
Well, Mr. Happy comes up big and gets the biggest hit of the day.
And if Connor Gillespie was ever going to smile, it would be right now. And he did.
Well, it's a big win considering how last night's ball game ended. And this game just, you never felt comfortable with the way the Phillies just kept coming back and coming back. And it winds up being a walk-off, and it really wasn't a bad pitch from Severino. It was right on the inside part of the plate with a little cut. And credit Connor Gillespie could get down there and digging it out. And an easy score with the speed from Pena. And everybody gets to be delirious.
All right, who do we go to first? We go to the guy that hit it. and that was Connor Gillespie. So the Giants take 2 out of 3, and I agree with you. If there was ever three more uncomfortable games this year, I don't know when we've watched them or broadcasted them, because these were definitely the fighting Phils in this series.
You're right, and you know they didn't quit. I mean, we've known Pete McCannon, the skipper for the Phillies, a long time, and that's him. I mean, that's what he teaches. And you know, this young Phillies team who got off to such a great start, and then they've hit a really big dry patch. They're still a good one-run team. They win a lot of one-run games, and you know, I think the way that they fought the Giants in this series had everything to do with their skipper and how they approach the game. They don't quit, and we tip our cap to them, but this is a big series win for the Giants.
All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, guys, no surprise. We have Connor Gillespie with a walk-off hit. It's your second of your career. And as Brandon Crawford's walking by, he goes, you get to talk to a very happy Connor. And maybe you can just share your thoughts right now after that hit.
Well, you know, I've had to grind out some at-bats today, some tough pitches, and you know, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to contribute. You know, it just so happened it was in the last inning today, so it's awesome. I'm really happy.
Take us through that inning, because Pena took a little while looking at his hit. We weren't sure it was going to drop. He realizes it's going to. Now you come up with a runner in scoring position. How do you adjust at the plate now that Pena's at second?
Well, I mean, I try to always have good at-bats. You know, you never know in this park, and you know, Pena hit that ball. It's probably foul at a lot of parks, but here it stayed fair. So you never know. You know, it's this game's crazy sometimes.
Ain't that the truth? You really never know.
You never know.
One thing we do know is you guys have been very good at getting back in the win column after a loss. And Brandon Belt said the other night he feels like it's somebody different stepping up every single game.
Sure.
Do you agree with that? And do you think that directly relates to you guys being able to get back into the win column?
Well, you know, this is a great team. You know, the chemistry's here. So many guys get opportunities here because of injuries, and it's great to see so many different guys contributing. You know, like I said, this is a great win for us. You know, and I don't know if it's so much that it comes after a loss, but the reality is, I mean, we fought the whole game. You know, we battled, we grinded it out, and it's nice to get a win.
Not much time to breathe in that game. One last question for you. This is your second time around with the San Francisco Giants, and your second time around with Bruce Bochy as your manager. And today he recorded his 800th win as the Giants manager. What can you say about Bruce, and what has he meant to your career?
Well, I can tell you this. You know, he understands the game, and he understands when to make moves, and you know, like I've told you guys all along, I'm so grateful just to even be out there. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 1 at bat or 4 at bats. You know, he lets you play, and we're all very grateful for that.
That is a happy Connor Gillespie, gentlemen.
All right, thanks Amy, and thanks to Connor Gillespie. That's right, 800th win for Bruce Bochy. Also the 7th walk-off win for the Giants this year, and that's the most in the major league. So there's a couple of points for you.
Well, I mean, this is a big series win. I mean, the way the Giants came off this last road trip where they went 6-1 in 2 tough cities in Tampa and Pittsburgh, you looked at the Phillies, who were really in a dry spell. I mean, they hadn't been winning any games, and so you would think that it would be an advantage, especially after they won the first game. Now you got your big 2 guns going with Bumgarner and Cueto. And boy, they had to fight and claw for this series victory, and it winds up being, you know, a pretty satisfying win for the offense. I mean, they really had to battle back and answer when the Phillies kept answering. And this was a dogfight and a nice series win.
Look, you get the game-winning hit, and you get to pick a kid out of the stands. Isn't that great?
Nice going, Dad.
Go, Connor. All right, final score here at AT&T Park. A walk-off win for the Giants. 8-7 is the final. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Eastern's Giants postgame live with interviews and the wrap. That's going to start right now.